Good morning and welcome to the APEL webinar series sponsored by APEL and Educator Alexander. Will, please make sure that you have signed in to educatoralexander.com/sign-in. And I do apologize, we did have a mistake on the flyer. It said 8 to 9, but the session is actually from 9 to 10. I see we have somebody else joining us. Awesome. Again, I want to apologize that the flyer did say that this webinar is from 8 to 9, but it actually was from 9 to 10. Whoever T is, if you can please make sure that you sign in. That's the only way you get your certificate to say that you were here, and you'll get all the resources in the email. And you simply go to educatoralexander.com/sign-in to sign in. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, one of the sponsors for this webinar is APEL. Sometimes we say Apple, sometimes we say APEL. And what this is the Associated Professional Educators of Louisiana, and it is a professional organization for teachers and administrators. It is, I like to call it the non-union, because you still get all of the perks of a union, but you don't have oh, well, good, T. I'm sorry about that. It said 8 to 9. It was actually from 9 to 10. So I'm glad you came back. Thank you for that. I like to call it the non-union. So it does promote teachers as professionals, and it's actually a nonprofit organization. The benefits of being an APEL educator is that you still get your professional liability insurance for up to $2 million. You still get those legal services and advice. The cool thing that I love is that you can also get grants and scholarships. I've gotten plenty of them, maybe 2 or 3 of them throughout the years, and they're so easy to get, and to just use that money for your classroom or for professional development opportunities is awesome. They have a lot of professional development opportunities like this one. Welcome, welcome. You get cash bonuses for sharing APEL with your coworkers, and you do become part of a statewide network of over 7,000 teachers and administrators. 5 quick notes that helped me decide to become an APEL educator. And again, sometimes you hear Apple or APEL, but 5 quick notes that would help me decide to actually drop my union and become an APEL member is the big one, to be quite honest with you, was that it was only $16.58 per month. I was paying about $60 per month for my union, and the main reason I was part of the union was for that liability insurance. So once I found out APEL had liability insurance, and I would get all the same perks I was looking for, plus they wouldn't get political, because I hated around political times. I was getting all these emails from my union about who to vote for, and it would just get on my nerves. So again, number one was the cost, that it was only $16.58 per month. So if you get paid twice, that's only $9 per check. You can apply online or through a paper application. Of course, I like my technology, so I appreciate it that I could just go and do it online. One of the big perks is that they actually drop your union for you, because I was kind of worried about that. I was like, I don't want to call and say I want to drop, and then I have to talk to them for 30 minutes about why I want to drop. They will do it for you. You just complete a union drop form, and APEL will drop your union for you. And I just kind of talked about this. I do like that they don't get political. They're a nonprofit organization, so they're not going to tell you who to vote for. They're not going to give your money to politicians and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciated that. And last but not least, I knew that one day I wanted to be an administrator, and I didn't want to have to go through the hassle of changing my union. So I like that they accepted teachers and administrators, so I knew I could just stick with the same company, the same organization, once I became an administrator. And it has been really, really helpful. So if you're interested in becoming an APEL administrator, an APEL educator, you can definitely, just when you sign in, you can just check yes, that you want more information about APEL, or I'm going to give you my email address, or you can just type in the chat box, hey, send me some more information, and I can send you the application and everything that you need to become an APEL educator. And they are also on Twitter and Facebook. 401k. So that's one of our sponsors. We will have an evaluation at the end. All you do is simply go to educatoralexander.com. You will go to comments and leave a comment about the training. All of those comments go to APEL so they can know, do we want to continue these? Did this topic, mean anything to you? That kind of stuff. I will also tell you that um, this Take and Train is about parents, and then the next month, the Take and Train will be about students. So it's going to be the actual presentation that you can actually give to your students about technology safety. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So this is the presentation on parental pitfalls. For you to actually, you can take this actual PowerPoint, you can manipulate it, you can edit it, and you can show this exact PowerPoint to your parents and walk through it with them. The whole point of this is to help your parents get a little bit of a better, clearer picture of what their students or what their children are doing with technology, and just how to raise that conversation without seeming corny, or without seeming like you don't know what you're talking about or you're not relevant, and just to help them actually raise that conversation with those preteens and teens, and helping them guide through this technology land a little bit better. So first of all, again, I'm going to talk to you as if I'm talking to the parents. That's the whole point of this. So I'm going to switch over now from talking to you, and then now I'm talking to the parents. Okay. Welcome, parents, guardians, and family members. First of all, welcome. Thank you for being here. What we're talking about tonight is all about technology and your students that we have here in school, and kind of how to talk to them about that, and making sure that you know a little bit of stuff that you need to know so that you can talk to them about it. So first of all, it takes all of us working together to keep our children safe. It's not just a parent thing, it's not just a school thing. It honestly takes all of us working together and all of us coming together and learning together to keep our children safe when it deals with technology. Some of us are first generation technology users and some of us are second generation. But the thing with technology is that it grows and it updates so frequently, from minute to minute, from day to day, that even if you are a second or third generation and you raised with internet as part of your everyday life, it still changes so much from day to day. So we can never keep track of everything out there, but we want to at least stay a part of the what's current. The worst technology, and I know you probably have heard this before, but the worst technology that your students will see is what they have in front of them right now. If you really think about that. If you think about, 10, 20 years ago, we had AOL, we had You Got Mail, you had all this stuff. And when we think back to that now, we're like, oh, it made my head hurt. You couldn't use the phone while you used the internet, and all the and beepers and pagers, and we had to stop at a payphone to actually call people back, and all this stuff that we laugh about. They're going to be laughing about the stuff that we're using right now. Okay, they're going to be laughing about the iPhone 6 when we're like, this is amazing. They're going to be laughing at that later. I heard someone from Google speak one time, and they said, they're probably going to be laughing about, when my dad had to when he came home, he had to actually plug in his phone to charge it. And that's probably going to be like a big joke that we actually ran out of battery when we were out in the streets. So the worst technology that they're going to see is what they have right now. That's actually very interesting, but also a little scary. Okay? Our children know more about the internet than we do. That's just point blank, period. But we cannot assume that they know how to use it safely. We cannot assume that they know how to actually use it for good, and that they actually know how to use it for work, and that they actually know how to use it for school. So that's where we come in. Our goals for tonight is to understand what our children are doing online, keep them safe, teach them how to make smart choices, and start that discussion about internet safety. Because the thing is, is I think everyone thinks everyone else is doing it. I feel like parents think that teachers are doing it, teachers think that parents are doing it, and then our children fall through the cracks because nobody's talking to them about how to be safe. And we assume they already know all this stuff, but they don't. You know, you're not born knowing not to take a picture of your body and send it to people. So, especially when it's looking like, and people are telling you that that's the normal thing to do. So we have to not be afraid of this conversation. We have to start this conversation with our students. Okay, so first of all, how do our students get online? Of course, they use their mobile devices, including cell phones. They use their laptops, their personal computers, their tablets, such as their iPads. But some parents don't know that they can actually get online through their video game consoles. So if you have an Xbox or anything like that, a lot of the video game consoles actually allow them to get online and to chat with people all over the world. So you want to look at that and see if your video game console is one that will allow your student to get online, and then what they can actually do with it and what parental controls you have over it. If you're thinking, well, well, my baby, I gave him the little flip phone, they don't have internet on the flip phone, he's fine. I promise you that somebody around him has the internet on their phone. Somebody around them has a laptop. Somebody around them has an iPad. Even in your school, you have technology. So please don't think just because you're not giving them the technology that you don't have to talk about this. They are on technology. They are on the internet. And not in a bad way. And I know that you have the perfect child, but they are still on the internet. You have to teach them how to be safe. So they're either getting on it on their own device or on a friend's device, at other people's houses, at school. There's free Wi-Fi all over the place. You can go to McDonald's and get on free Wi-Fi. So just because they don't have a data plan doesn't mean they can't get on free Wi-Fi. Okay, what do children do online? Of course, number one is social media. That's your Facebooks and your Twitters and your Snapchats and your Instagram. Of course, they're on social media. If if you say, well, I told them they can't do Facebook until they're 13, which is usually what, they have to click the little I am 13. There's no proof to that. All they have to do is click yes. The thing with social media is you can create multiple accounts. So really understand that even if you say, well, my child has a Facebook account and, but I have access to it, or they show it to me constantly, or I'm one of their Facebook friends, they can have a different account. They can have another account that you know nothing about. So again, part of this is that conversation about being safe. They visit virtual worlds. They play multi-user games. It's like your video games. They text and instant message. They view and post videos. This generation, this current generation, is obsessed with videos. Videos is the more than taking pictures. The videos that are really prevalent with this generation. They download music, movies, and more. They create and upload music, movies, and more, which is kind of cool. They're very, very creative if they're using it in a positive way. It really is an interesting time in our internet history. And they do research, homework, and etc. So just to let you know that I don't care if you sit through this presentation, you still know nothing. And they know everything. So this is the time in their lives that parents begin to not know anything and their friends know everything. So even if you tell them blue is the best color, you don't know anything until their friends tell them blue is the best color. So please understand that, and please know that you know nothing, they know everything. But the tips that I give you in this presentation should help you gain more traction in this area with your child. So social media, since this is the most popular, I want to show you some pitfalls with social media. So first of all, Facebook is dead. We love Facebook. It's kind of our first big, besides MySpace, one of our first big, like, held on for years and years and years, really popular social media platforms. But for students and for teens, Facebook is for old people. So just please know that, especially if they have a Facebook page and they say, oh, that's my only social media. It's probably not. Facebook is dead. Young folks don't really use Facebook anymore. Some of them do, but not a lot of them. Twitter is more where it's at, but it's still, Twitter is better than Facebook in their eyes. So Twitter is a social media platform, but for them, it's mostly Instagram, Snapchat, and some that I probably don't even know about. So Instagram and Tumblr are places where you share pictures. Okay, it is a picture platform. It is, all of these are safe to a certain extent. Okay, but Instagram and Tumblr are where they share pictures. Now, Snapchat and Poke is where you kind of get into the, okay, well, let me look at this a little bit more, because they have destructing images. So what that means is that I can send you a picture and it can or I can tell it to self-destruct in 5 minutes or in 30 seconds. So you can see the picture and it's self-destructing. The reason why this is a problem with teens is that they hear self-destructing and they start thinking, oh, I can send a picture of my random body parts, or I can send a picture doing something that's highly inappropriate because it's going to self-destruct, so nobody will see it, right? So we need to start having the conversation about these self-destructing messages and images. And what I do in the teen part of this is that I ask them, how quick can you do a screenshot? And they'll go, oh, in like less than a second. I'm like, yeah. So if you're thinking about Snapchat and all this other stuff, all I have to do is a screenshot. So I don't care if you self-destructed in 5 seconds. If it takes me less than 1 second to do a screenshot, then I have it forever and ever and ever, and it is mine. I can do whatever I want to with your picture. So just kind of bringing it home for them sometimes helps them understand, like, oh, okay, so it's maybe not as self-destructing as I think it is. Yeah, that's right. Okay? And another thing to bring it home is and I may be getting a little bit ahead of myself, but when we're talking to our students and we say stuff like, oh, well, once they snap, and once they do the screenshot, and if they put it up there and you go to get a job, that can ruin you getting a job. Or if your college recruiters come and they're looking at your Facebook, that can ruin your your prospects of getting into college. Well, first of all, your students are not thinking about that. Unless they are, seniors, they're not thinking about, getting into college and getting a job. So if you kind of approach it like that, they're like, whatever, dude, I'm not worried about that. But if you approach it to, like I just said, you take a screenshot and they can do whatever they want to. They can send it to all your friends. Your janitor could be looking at your random body part. It kind of brings it home a little bit like, oh, crap, that's not what I want. Like, yeah, that's not what you want. So we kind of have to bring it down to their level where they're in school and kind of, I hate to say scare them, but scare them on their level and not like you won't get a job because they're like, who cares? So we got to talk on their level. Burn Note has self-destructing messages. So again, they're them typing stuff that they wouldn't normally type because they think it's self-destructing. Tinder is a dating app where they can actually rate people in their area and hook up. So not good. If you see anything about Tinder, please take it off of their phone or definitely, because it's not when we say dating app, we think of like eHarmony and Match.com and I'm gonna find love. It's not for love. It's to hook up. So you just wouldn't think that was a thing, but it is. And more teens are getting on Tinder. So please don't think, oh, well, that's something for like 20-somethings or college. No, more and more high school and middle school, which is extremely scary, students are getting on Tinder and hooking up with other, people their age and older in their area. Blender, kind of the same thing. Calculator, these are a little bit, these private photos and private information apps are a little bit scary, and there's a bunch of them. So what the calculator app does is it looks like an actual calculator, like the regular calculator you see on an iPhone. You can actually use it as an actual calculator, and then what your student or anybody would do is once they put in a certain code, like 11259, it opens up the app, and that's where you can actually keep private photos and private, messages or anything like that, where nobody else can get to it. So you would think, why in the world would somebody do this? This is horrible. Well, what their point is that they do it so adults, of course, that's their tagline, is that adults can keep their information private. So they didn't do it for students to hide stuff from their parents. They did it for adults that, I may hand my phone to somebody and say, look at this awesome Christmas picture. But if I wanted some more private photos on my phone, I can put them and hide them in these type of apps. Volti is another one. Omegle is an app where you can actually talk to strangers. I mean, I don't know why, but it's there, and it's a favorite. All of these are kind of favorite for teens, so that's why I'm putting them on here. Messenger is a messaging app where you don't have to use your messaging minutes to like send text messages. So it's a messaging app, but in the teen world, it's also known for sexting a lot. So if you see Kick Messenger, or that you're hearing somebody talk about Kick, it's used for sexting a lot, and we're going to talk about what sexting is in a second. Yik Yak, you can post messages anonymously, so it's definitely known. When you see CB, it's known for cyberbullying, because of course you can post and nobody knows that you're posting it. But the scary part, besides that, is that it also uses GPS location. So that means if I'm a predator and I'm looking at the Yik Yak app and I see this, nasty messages going back and forth, I can actually find you using your GPS location. So very, very scary. Axe.fm, I think they're actually deleting this app. They're going to start, the company itself, because it got so big into cyberbullying, that if I'm not mistaken, I think the company is disbanding, like they're giving up Axe.fm. But it was supposed to be an app where you can post questions and get answers. So it wasn't supposed to be nefarious, but it became just like this hotbed of cyberbullying. Vine is where you can post videos. Vine actually should be up there with like Instagram and Tumblr. Not, most, even a bunch of adults buying, but of course it's about the videos that you're posting. And then Whisper is another anonymous app that shows your GPS location. So that's like that Yik Yak. So some words to know in this internet world. Sexting is when you are sending body parts to other people. So it's when you're sending, not a picture of your foot or your hand, of course, but you're sending a picture of your boobs or a picture of your butt or a picture of whatever to other people. And that's what it's called. It's called sexting. Netflix and chill. So have you ever seen, you're looking at somebody's phone, you're like, oh, they want to Netflix and chill. They want to watch a movie and chill out. No, Netflix and chill means sex. Point blank, period. So if you say, I want to chill, that doesn't necessarily mean it. Or you say, let's watch Netflix, that doesn't necessarily mean it. But the phrase Netflix and chill means that they are asking you to come over. It's like back in the day we used to say booty call. They're asking you to come over and have sex. A sexed buddy is a person that I may not even know in real life, but we're buddies because we sext each other. And this is a real thing. These are real words that students are using. Kick buddy means the same thing. Remember we talked about Kick Messenger? So this is that Kick, but Kick buddy means a sext buddy. Jailbreaking and rooting your phone. Jailbreaking for iPhone, rooting for Android. What that means is if you jailbreak your phone, That means that you are actually you're breaking your phone from the settings. Like iPhones can only do ABC. Well, if I jailbreak my phone, now I can do DEF too. So just because you put parental, blocks on your phone, it doesn't mean that they can't jailbreak it or root it if it's an Android phone. Cydia, Poof, and SPS settings is what you can do after you jailbreak your phone or root your phone to actually hide information on your phone. A hashtag and the @ symbol, these are things that you use while you're using social media. So when you hashtag something, all that means is it's a topic that is popular. And what you want to do is when you are on various social media, because it used to be just Twitter, but now it's Facebook and you can hashtag pretty much anything. So when you hashtag it, you're saying, you know what, I have a comment about that same topic that everybody else is talking about, and I want my comment to become part of that conversation. So if I hashtag cookies, because everybody's talking about cookies or whatever, when I hashtag cookies, you can actually go to Google and search hashtag cookies and see people's comments from all over the world about that topic. So that's what hashtag means. And then when that hashtag becomes super duper duper popular because so many people are hashtagging cookies, that's when it becomes trending. So that's what trending is. When you're like, well, how does something become trending? That's how something becomes trending. So when you have a hashtag, you want people to use the exact same words, because if I hashtag cookies and you hashtag cookie without the S, that's two separate hashtags. So that's why it's so important when you see TV shows or political people and they tell you what to hashtag. That's why, because they want it to become trending and they want everybody to be talking about this same topic. So that's what a hashtag and trending is. And then you have the @ symbol. When you do the @ symbol, that means you're actually talking to someone specific. So you would put @ and then you would put their screen name. So that's the difference between hashtag and @ is when you're actually talking to a specific person. Hashtag is when you're talking about a specific topic. Feed is just your social media comments, and your whatever's on your social media page is part of your feed. So just like on Facebook, when everybody comments and when you post stuff, that's called your feed. When you hear something going viral, it's the same thing as trending. When something is trending, we talked about the hashtag. Usually when you hear viral, it's a video. So the video has become so popular that so many people all over the world have seen it that it becomes viral. And your handle is simply your screen name. So when you are, Purple Hat Teacher, that is your handle. That's your screen name. So some online concerns, of course, are cyberbullying, which is, horrible. We think of bullying and some of us say, well, kids need to just get over it. We were bullied. It wasn't a big deal. But the difference with cyberbullying is that it didn't follow us home. And if it did follow us home, the whole world didn't know about it. It is different, and it is a major concern because they can't get away from it. And you can say, well, but just don't be on social media. Well, even if I'm not on social media, it's still happening. And people all over the world are commenting on how ugly I am or how fat I am, or it is a bigger deal than what we experience. No matter if we want to look at it that way or not, it is. Disturbing content online and online porn. And it's funny that I have to put "and" online porn, because back in our day, online porn was the disturbing content, but not today. There is so much on there with violence and sex and who knows what else. Is that disturbing content doesn't always mean porn. It doesn't always mean sexual content. So we want to, one of our biggest concerns is having our students dig into that disturbing content. Viruses and spyware. We don't think about that with our children. We think about viruses for our main computer, but they do get into viruses and spyware and malware. And of course, part of that is sexual predators actually putting stuff like that on their devices. Because, the thing is with sexual predators is that they know where students are. we may look at sexual predators and think of them as adults, and then we compare them with ourselves, and we go, well, I don't know what, where students hang out. But you know what? That's their job. Just like you have a job, sexual predators, this is part of what they want to know. This is their job. And what they do is online grooming, which is so scary. They don't come out and go, hey, I'm a sexual predator. You want to hang out? They online groom their students and the teens that they go after. And what online grooming is that they know what to say to get the student to trust them. Oh, my mom, oh, how's your mom? Oh, I know my mom gets on my nerves, and my little sister, I have to babysit her all the time, and all this stuff. And they online groom them for a while. So I'm about to get into the stuff that you can do to help your student, but I just want to go through some more of these online concerns. Too much screen time. How long are they on their computer and on their phone and on the screen? Think about that, and think about, is it too much? Of course, privacy and identity theft, again, one of those that you don't think about for your teens, but identity theft is so rampant nowadays that it is definitely a concern and that you want to bring up with them and talk about. Of course, their online reputation, telling them that and making sure that they understand that now, where we only had our reputation in person, they now have an online reputation as well. So it's something that you want to bring up with them. Of course, self-harm. There's so much on the internet about how to harm yourself. And you wouldn't think that, and you would think that people wouldn't want to advertise that. But it's so much on there about how to self-harm and how to hide it from your parents and how to hide it from your friends. That's definitely something that we want to bring up and talk to them about as well. And then the kind of new one is online radicalization. So we're thinking about, well, I don't let my child watch the news, or they don't know about anything going on in the world, and, they wouldn't think about these anti-USA and anti-this and that. But it's all online. If you want to know about a topic, it's all online. So now a new concern is your student getting wrapped up in online radicalization. Speaking out against groups, speaking out racially, speaking out sexual gender, speaking out nationalism. All of this is online. So even if you think, well, we don't talk about it, it's not a big concern, they can get into it online. So that's another big concern these days. So some of you are thinking right now, well, you know what? All this is fine, but this is not my child. My child doesn't do these kind of things. So I want to show this quick video.
I thought I knew. I thought I knew who he was.
Hold on.
I didn't want to let him down.
Hold on.
I couldn't get away.
Don't be scared.
He hurt me.
You'll never change what's been and gone. May your smile.
It was out of control.
Shine on.
I couldn't stop it.
Don't be scared. Your destiny may keep you on.
He made me feel special.
'Cause all of the stars
Like I was the only one.
faded away. Just try not to worry. You'll see them someday.
The only one he wanted to be with.
You need, I'll be on your way.
The only one he wanted to talk to. The only one he wanted to see.
Take your top off for me.
Really see. That's when it started. When it got out of control. When I thought I was going to get into trouble. But there is a way forward. It's better to tell someone. Someone who can make it stop. Then it won't happen at all. Now I know you can do something. Now I know it's never too late. 'Cause you see, I thought I knew.
So, I like that video because we all think, not my child. This is not going to happen to my child. They're smarter than that and all those kind of things. But guys, if we're not talking about it, it can happen. We have to bring it up and we have to talk about it. Where we were concerned with, them taking candy from strangers, from cars, now we're concerned with those strangers coming right through our computer screens, right in our homes. Okay, so I know some of you want to just do this. Like, you're not using the internet anymore. Like, I will lock you in your room. You're done. But we can't. That's not realistic. So what can we do? First of all, you've already taken the first step. You're learning about it. You're familiarizing yourself with the issue. The second thing we need to do is talk about it. We have to keep that honest and open conversations with our students. And then the third thing is we have to deal with it. We can't bury our heads in the sand and say, oh, well, this isn't really happening. What, we don't really have to do. Yes, you do have to deal with it, because you know what? Even if your child is doing everything right, they're not cyberbullying, they're not sexting, they're actually trying to use the internet for good, they can still try to reach out to your child. Do they know what to do? If a predator does reach out to them, do they know what to do? Do they know how to handle it? The answer may be no, because you've never talked about it. You've told them stranger danger and run in the other direction, but have you told them what to do when it happens online? So teach them to zip it, block it, and flag it. Zip it. Keep your personal stuff private, and think about what you say online. I have a really cool activity that I do with the student side of this, where we go through an online chat and they try to pick out the information that a predator can get from the online chat, and then I show them all of the information you gave me without even knowing that you gave it to me. Okay? Block it. Block nasty people. Block nasty messages. You're being cyberbullied. Block these people. And don't open unknown links and attachments. And then flag it. Flag it with somebody that you trust. Let them know what's happening to you online. So teach them to zip it, block it, and flag it. Keeping personal information private. It may be hard not to reveal their name because we have so many platforms now. But if you can go ahead and choose a nondescript screen name, that would be awesome. Have a screen name where people don't know that you're 10 years old, that people don't know that you're male or female. Try to choose that nondescript screen name. Again, it may be a little bit harder now because we have so many social media platforms, but definitely there is no reason in the world to give out your address, your phone number, or your school name, or your church name, or places where I can actually, if I sit there long enough, I can find you. Don't post or send photographs of yourself. That's not realistic. It's just not realistic in today's world. That's like telling our students not to breathe. So it's not realistic, but we can tell them about sending inappropriate photographs of yourself. Okay, we can tell them about sending photographs that have your school behind it to where I can see where you go to school. We can tell them about sending photographs or posting photographs that have your school shirt in it to now I know, where you live. That kind of stuff we can tell them. To just say don't send photographs, it's just not going to work. I mean, you're wasting your breath. But we can kind of tell them to be a little bit safer with the types of photographs that they send. Okay. um and ask to see your communication and show them what you can learn from it. Try to think, I hate to say try to think like a predator, but try to think about someone who's trying to find this person. Did that communication point out any information? Did it tell me that you were home alone? Did it tell me that it was just you and your kid's sister that you're babysitting and your parents are not going to be back till 10 o'clock? Did it tell me that you live on in a suburb instead of a city? Did it tell me, like, you need to think about all that? Did it tell me what school team you play on? So now I can just look up, tiger schools with tigers and the mascot in Illinois. So what information are you giving out without even thinking you're giving it out? For parents, learn how to set your privacy settings and teach your students or your children how to set their privacy settings. Okay? For Facebook and all these social medias, you have options. Show them how to do that and then visit them regularly, maybe every month or two, and just make sure your stuff is still set to private. If a stranger contacts your child, does your child know what to do? Do they know to not respond? Do they know to let you know? Do they know when that stranger comes and says, send me a pic of your blank? Do they know to block that person? Okay? If it becomes serious, you need to contact the authorities. And there's also a cyber tip line at cybertipline.com that you can go to. And again, remember, especially if somebody came in late, you have access to this PowerPoint so you can manipulate it and you can use it with your parents. That's the whole point of this, is I'm talking to you like you're a parent, so you can go and you can use this with your parents. So basic ways to keep your child safe. Please talk and discuss. You cannot be afraid of this topic. If you're afraid of it, they're never going to learn this stuff. So you can't be afraid of it. You have to go, okay, we have to talk and discuss this. Just like you discuss the birds and the bees, you need to discuss internet safety with your child. Learn as much as you can. Keep learning. I told you that this changes and updates every day. So you have to keep learning and keep your child safe. Signing internet safety contract with your child. Keep your computer in a public area. Why do they need a laptop in their room? Why? Keep the computer in a public area of your home. Now, of course, you can say, well, they still have their cell phones. Why do they need their cell phones at night when they're supposed to be sleeping? Put your cell phone in the kitchen. All cell phones go in the kitchen, and then we go to sleep. Okay? Think about that kind of stuff. And if you're like, oh, that's unrealistic, you know what? If I'm trying to keep my child safe, it's going to become our realism. Set a time limit for computer use. Become familiar with the sites that your child visits. Learn how to use the history. Learn how to check your history on your computers. Know your child's online friends. Tell them, hey, if you start having an online boyfriend or you start having an online best friend, I need to know who they are. Let me know about, this person that is becoming part of your life, just like I know about the people at your school. Okay? Know your child's passwords. Of course, this is only to the extent of what they're going to give you, because they may have secret accounts, but you can know what know as much as you can. Keep your security software up to date and keep aware of what's popular. Keep aware of those terms that we talked about. If you didn't know what Netflix and chill meant, you should have. So, because it's been out there for a while. I'm sure it's something else right now that they're saying to mean come have sex. So keep current with the terminology. Basic internet rules for children. Never give out identifying information. Never write or post anything that you wouldn't be comfortable with the entire world seeing. Because guess what? The entire world is seeing it. Treat others online as you would treat them in person. Never share your password. Never open an email or click a link. And this is stuff that we usually don't tell our students because we don't think it's a problem. But they're getting spam email too. They're getting viruses sent to them too. Never download or click on anything unless you tell an adult. Now, we mean stuff that just looks weird. But, and if you make a mistake, this is the big one. when you do send that picture that you shouldn't have sent, when you do start seeing that cyberbullying coming your way, when you do realize, crap, that 14-year-old cute boy that I was talking to is a 28-year-old man. When you do make a mistake, come tell me. This is the most serious thing that you can tell them. Because you know what? Just like we made mistakes in real life, they're making mistakes online. Come tell me. I won't be mad at you. Even though of course you're gonna be furious. But I won't be mad at you. I'm not gonna punish you, at least at first. But come tell me. Keeping that open line so when something does happen, I can't stress how crucial that is, that they have that open road to feel like they can come tell you about it. It is so crucial. You would rather that than them trying to handle it on their own. These are some resources. I do ask that when you do use this, that you keep these resources, but you can add to it. But these are some really good resources to learn more about keeping your child safe online. And that is the end of the official presentation for you. But if you go to resources, you have access to this entire PowerPoint that you can, hold on, let me paste it for you. If you go to resources, you have access to this entire PowerPoint that you can actually manipulate and then use with your parents. That's the whole point of this, is that you heard how I kind of explained it, and then you can make a 2-hour session from it, 1-hour session, 30-minute session, whatever you want, and you can actually deliver this to your parents, because it is a serious topic and we want our parents to understand how important this is for them to talk to their children about. Excuse me. So please make sure that you have signed in. Please make sure that you fill out the evaluation, which is just leaving a comment on the website. The next webinar, and the time on this one is correct, is Saturday, May 6th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And it's the student side of this presentation. So just like we just talked about the parent side and what you can deliver to parents, this is where we talk about how do you deliver this to your students. So it's a lot more videos, it's a lot more interactive, and I'm going to have all the materials that you can get and actually deliver to your students. So that will be Saturday, May 6th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And you can sign up going to apeleducators.org/event/cyber. And the last thing I'm going to share with you is about the APEL conference, July 12th through 14th. You can go and register on apeleducators.org. And I really love this conference. I go to conferences all over the nation, and it really is one of my favorites just because it's so much fun, and it's just kind of chill and learn. And you honestly learn from it. It's not like, you go to something, it's like, okay, why am I here? You actually learn from each session that you go to, and sometimes if you go on to conferences, that doesn't always happen. So it's one of my favorite conferences. So I just wanted to make sure you knew, July 12th through 14th, and you can register at apeleducators.org. All right, that is it for our webinar. Thank you, Tyron. This is it for our webinar. Thank you so much for coming. I know we had a couple of more people signed up, and I think they came at 8. So I feel really bad, and I'm sorry that the flyer had the wrong date on it. I mean, the wrong time on it. But I promise you the next one doesn't. And this is being recorded, so I can definitely send the recording to everybody. Okay, well, you have a great rest of your Saturday. Thank you for coming. And if you have any questions, you have my contact information. Have a great day too. You have my contact information. I'll type my email, even though I know you both have it. And you have a great rest of your Saturday. And here's my contact information. If you have any questions about how to get it or anything like that. So you have a great rest of your Saturday.